What's up, devils? J-dawg back to answer more goddamn questions. For the next video line, we got a goddamn order question. Just a one-off this day. And it's from Griffin Doherty. Send me a deicide sticker or whatever the fuck you got in stock, goddamn. Got you covered. Thanks, brah. Question for the YouTube channel. If J-dawg was forced to hang out with one serial killer for the day, who would it be and why? Well, that was a really good question to actually hang out with, huh? Honestly, I wouldn't even have to be forced to. I have always had a morbid curiosity to even hear his fucking voice. Is Albert Fish? I just thought he was the king of the fucking weirdos. He just kind of almost has like a scary presence even to him. Just the way the guy fucking looked in the photos. It's kind of like, I don't even know how he got away with shit for so goddamn long. He's like, you can just tell he's a fucking weirdo just by looking at him. Just like fucking Elvis at my goddamn gym. I can tell just by looking at the motherfucker that he's a child molester or he's scummy in some type of way. He's the type of guy that kicks his dog for no reason. He beats his wife or his kids. Something scummy as fuck. But I'm guessing molesting kids, especially since he fucking coaches soccer. And that was the first thing that popped in my mind. It just looked like it. And be like, yeah, by the way, he fucking coaches kids soccer. I'm like, oh, dude, there you go. The fucking goddamn high school coach or whatever it is. It's always the kid. My t-ball coach, and you hear they got molested. My football coach. It's always that scenario. I mean, not always, but a lot of times. And I thought that before I even knew he fucking did that. So certain these guys, you get this kind of looks like Fish. I'm like, what the fuck are people like? If anyone was surprised, I'm like, dude, he would have been wild walking around. Man, you know this motherfucker shady. Fucking guy from Opeth looked pretty goddamn fucking weird as fuck too. I gotta say, my bells were going off. But yeah, Albert Fish, I'd have to say because I would just want to kind of like to see how he was in person because he had total fucking weirdo of weirdos. Because opposed to like Jeffrey Dahmer, he just seemed kind of like a fucking pushover twink boy that I'm kind of like, just whatever. Also a weirdo, obviously. Bundy would be kind of would be interesting, but maybe I'd have less of a desire with like those two guys because there's interviews with them and shit, so you kind of feel like you got to know their character a little bit more. So maybe that's why with Fish, because there's no interviews with him because he was arrested, in the 1930s? So yeah, I literally don't even know what his voice sounds like. I don't know if they had any tape recording technology at that time. Just black and white photos is all I've seen. So he would be the most morbid curiosity. Like somewhat like I said, Bundy, maybe kind of interesting, but he just seemed like a fucking smart ass that you just want to slap across the face. Gacy he just seemed like a fucking jerk. He seemed like a jerk that fucking kind of hid it well in the public eye. Like one of those guys where you're like, I know this guy's a dick behind closed doors, but he's your best buddy in person. But you can tell it just comes off as super fucking fake. Kind of like a fucking car salesman. Anytime I go buy a goddamn car, they come out, they act like you're your best fucking friend. Now I get it because they're trying to sell you something. First thing I was like, dude, just let me look around first, man. Let me see if I find it. Fuck off right now. Not your friend. Don't want to be your buddy. Cut the shit. Just all business, man. Don't want to hang with you. Don't want to get a beer after. Nothing. That type of shit. That's how Gacy come off as to me. So yeah, I'd have to go with fucking Fish. That'd be my goddamn pick. And next goddamn video in line questions is 2 weeks ago. Garza podcast, heaviest of all time? Question mark. Corn ain't heavy, brah. You never even heard Nunslaughter. Well, I would like to find out if he's heard Nunslaughter or heard of him or knows anything about him because he actually commented on one of my videos. Not this. Well, we'll see if he commented here. I don't think so. The only reason why I knew he commented on it about 5 days ago now video, I forget which one it was too. You figured it'd be this one because there's actually his name in there. And he invited, he took it a good sport. I actually thought it was pretty goddamn cool. He's like, I'd love to have you on the podcast sometime, brah. So, dude, that's what's fucking funny. Like, well, I'm not going to mention any goddamn names. I don't need another fucking video of whining, crying, etc. about me. But the one fucking dude that made a video, he's all fucking pissed off. It's just like, dude, it's just a channel for fucking fun to bust balls and shit like that. I don't have anything directly against anybody I'm talking about in this goddamn channel. Would you honestly think that I'm all upset about Tom G and hate the guy? Fuck no. So people that I don't know, just don't get it or just mind blowing me. So it actually sounds like he actually has some goddamn brain cells, and if nothing else, has a sense of humor. So he invited me on. I replied back to him on rather YouTube, and I said I didn't see the comment. Somebody told me that he commented. Maybe it was Aaron Puffenbarger or somebody emailed me like, "Hey, did you see fucking Garza comment on your channel?" I was like, "Oh, no, I didn't." Let me go fucking. I was like, "Which one?" And I checked. I was, "Oh shit, he did." So I replied back to him. And I said, yeah. He's like, I'll hit you up. He hasn't hit me up yet. Granted, like I said, I think it's been 4 to 5 days. I think I'm recording this on the 31st, March 31st, 2023. It's a Friday. I think it was like Sunday. In fact, it was Sunday. Yes, it was Sunday. I remember because I replied to him right before I left to go to the gym. I remember I remember went to the gym on that Sunday. So, yeah, so it's been 5 days and I haven't heard back from him. So, yeah, Garza, what the fuck? Hit me up. All four coming on the podcast. It's probably going to have to be goddamn virtual, though. And because, well, I don't even know where the fuck you live. I think I heard vaguely you're in Vegas. Don't know if that's true or not. But nonetheless, I'm not fucking flying out for a goddamn podcast. If I was in town, absolutely. In person would be best. And I'll probably do it in this office because as you guys see, for whatever reason, I don't know, because my connection at my house is always fine. Like I do emails there all the fucking time, every day, and shit, and use the internet there. It's fine. But whenever I record something, or if I do a Discord meeting with my brothers there, my end always cuts out. I have no idea why. Because the internet works, it's all there. So because he was doing it on the Depoche mode code, is that how you pronounce it or whatever? That interview I did, and people were like, yeah, it's cut out. I was like, I don't know if I can tell you. So any interviews I do next that are virtual, I'll do them fucking here. Hopefully it's better. So yeah, that's the goddamn plan. Yeah, hit me up, Garza. What the fuck? Have yet to hear from you, goddamn it. Sewer vomits. Question, J-dawg. What genre of metal is Children of Bottom? What would J-dawg say? I mean, I remember it being ultra keyboardy with kind of black metal, Cradle of Filth, Dame Eborg style. So I don't know. It's kind of like, so from what I remember, it kind of sounded like Dance with Another Man black metal. So that's what I remember. But it's been 20 goddamn years since I freaking heard it, and I never gave it a true honest chance. Some people tell me like, hey, you might like the first two albums. Like after that, that's kind of pushing it. So, but at the moment, I'm not quite sure. But I have 100% heard them. Like I said, I remember there just being keyboards out the wazoo. Jordan Silly, question: have you ever eaten at Quaker Steak and Lube in Medina? What do you think of it? Can't remember where you're from, Jordan. But what did you fucking Google search that? Used to be that Quaker Steak and Lube used to be about 5 minutes from my old house when I lived in Medina. It's probably about it's like a 10-minute drive from where I'm at now. Yeah, I've been there. It's nothing special. I mean, didn't suck, didn't love it. I've been there twice. Will I ever go back? I mean, I'm not the type if somebody brought it up, if invited me out. I'm like, I'm not going there. But I mean, if someone's like, hey, what do you want to do for tonight, J-dawg? I'm like, let's go to fucking Quaker Steak, goddamn it. It's not like that either. So I'm kind of indifferent to it. Um, if you're in a pinch, it does the job, but it's nothing overly exciting either. But yes, I've been there. Ryan Observer 2, J Dizzle, question. In your opinion, top influence and game changing albums of the early days of hard rock and heavy metal? I'm taking 1982 and earlier, goddammit. Big names. Some of my picks off my head would be Misfits Walk Among Us, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, British Steel, Just Discharge Hear Nothing, Motorhead Overkill, AC/DC Let There Be Rock. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't quite, you're saying top influence and game changing albums of the early days of hard rock and heavy metal. I don't know if I'd put Misfits in there, although out of all those, I probably like Misfits the most. As a matter of fact, I do like Misfits the most out of all those that you mentioned. I don't know if I'd put it in there though, just because that's like a punk album. You said hard rock and heavy metal. I would put unbiasedly, yeah, something by Iron Maiden, something by Motorhead, something by Black Sabbath. I would put AC/DC there too, especially since kind of said hard rock. I mean, it's kind of hard to deny them, and I do like the early shit. Don't love it. To me, it just kind of seems pointless to put on the player at this point because I've heard it so many times, and you can literally just walk into a goddamn restaurant and it's on. I mean, I've had that happen several times, so it just seems a little bit like I'm kind of unenthused to put on. It's like, hey, let's put on an AC/DC record, but I do like it. I like the only album I like pretty much every song. Well, two albums. They only have two songs I like every single song on, and that's Highway to Hell and Back in Black. All the others, Let There Be Rock and shit, I like them. High Voltage, but I remember always being like a song here and there I didn't like. Dirty Deeds, I think the fucking title track is possibly my favorite AC/DC song, but the rest of the album, it's kind of fucking sucks. Um, you can put something in AC/DC. Judas Priest, I would definitely put something by Priest in there if I didn't already say that. Merciful Fate, Venom. Mm, Because after that, you're getting a kind of like thrash metal. You get into like the Metallicas and Slayers. So I want to put that in there. So yeah, heavy metal, hard rock. Yeah, but Merciful Fate, Venom, definitely out in there. So I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody completely obvious too. But I think that'd kind of cover as far as most influential and fucking game changers. I would have to say those. Grim, J-Dawg, do you like any Mexican or Hispanic food or Caribbean food for that matter? Yeah, I mean, I like Mexican food for sure. Hispanic food, I'm sure I do. I can't think of exactly what type of dish I've had that's Hispanic. And Caribbean food, I don't know if I've had anything Caribbean, but I can't imagine from any culture there's something that I wouldn't like. Nothing. I'm sure there is exceptions. Like I remember reading up on once, like very vaguely. I think it was Iceland or something. Looking at the dishes they're kind of known for. I'm like, oh man, that sounds nasty as fuck. I think it was mainly maybe seafood related. Don't quote me on that. But I think I remember Iceland. I don't know why I read it or something, saw it something standing out. Like, oh man, it looks like if you go there, fucking food sucks. At least by what I like. But usually something from every type of ethnicity. I like something, you know. Octavian question marks, not a question, but I saw an interview with the Garza podcast host one time where he asked what his favorite thrash metal album was, and he said the Black Album. Poser. That's Octavian saying it too. Goddamn Garza, not me. Um, yeah, like I mean, we'll hash it out on the fucking just shoot the shit about it. Yeah, maybe it sounds like you'll learn a thing or two. It just sounds to me like I've always said, and I could be completely wrong. I've only watched three things about him. I watched the DSN interview, the Exhumed interview, and the Devourment interview. And Devourment interview, I only watched like 15 minutes of it. So the only things I even watched in entirety is Exhumed interview and the DSN interview. So I don't know a lot about the guy. Maybe he knows more than I thought. No, I mean, maybe he does like Nutslaughter. I doubt it, but it's possible. But just a little bit I seen on him, from the ones I just mentioned, I just got the vibe that like said, like he was the guy when I was in high school, same year as me, because he said he's the same age. Um, that he was the dudes coming up. Like he was listening to the Coal Chambers, the Tools, the Marilyn Mansons, the Slipknots, the Corns, the Limp Bizkits, all that shit. And he was coming up to me while I'm wearing literally an Exhumed Gore Metal shirt, had no fucking idea what it was, and he was equating the two. That's the vibe I get. Um, and then it sounded like he obviously stayed in music. 'Cause I think he says he plays in like a deathcore band too. It sounded like he stuck with it. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking because if he's at the same time as me over 20 years now, you're gonna stumble across some good shit. And that's what it sounds like it happened. It sounds like much later on he stumbled across the deicides, the exhumed shit like that. Maybe he knew that from since he was a teenager. I don't know. What can ask? Um, but I definitely still generally get the vibe that he doesn't know true underground music. Because yes, stuff like Exhumed and Devourment, they are underground, but they're definitely it's kind of like anyone in the underground scene knows you don't go throwing those names out like you're busting out something obscure that you like you go up to like I don't know Scott from Cyanide or something like hey bro I got have you ever heard of Exhumed? He'd be like yeah, kind of like who hasn't now whether he likes them or not etc. That could be a different story, but it's like he knows who they are. Um, when I'm thinking underground bands, when I say like, for example, I put Nunslaughter in that category too. But even Nunslaughter is kind of like they are, but they're kind of like the tippy top of the underground, where it's kind of like you know them. Like, to my opinion, you really don't know fucking underground music. But when you mention like, say, for Hell's bands, just talking about to Chris on his fucking interview, like bands like Evil Army and Necrofilth, things like that. I mean, I'm almost positive Goat Seaman. He's gonna have no fucking idea who that is. Um, Again, I could be wrong, but that's what I think. And when I think of underground, I'm thinking shit like that. A band like Mystifier, that's underground music. Um, and again, just because it's underground doesn't mean it's good. A lot of underground shit, I could take it or leave it. Don't even like it at all. But I just get the vibe. It's like, does this guy like actually real underground bands or just the really bands that got really popular? That remains to be seen. But if I come on the channel, we'll fucking find out. Damon Hell Mode. Love the Garza podcast. You can tell he comes from a place of honesty and love for music. Yeah, again, when I'm busting these guys' balls, it's like I hope none of you guys are taking it completely out of context. Like I'm saying, I absolutely hate this person, and uh, just yeah, I think I hate him or something. I think any negative will. I'm just it's a metal channel, so we need something to talk about. People like busting balls, and they want my opinion, and I'm answering questions, so I just give my honest opinion. If I'm wrong, and whatever. But even if I'm dead ass right, he doesn't like it. That's like doesn't mean I don't like the guy. I mean, it's funny because, like I said, majority of the people that I kind of like talk to on a regular basis or something, they don't listen to metal at all. They don't even know who Deicide is. So it's not like that. You don't get like extra. You're not like in the cool club in my opinion, just because you listen to metal, it's your personality that counts. It's if you got a killer ass personality and I jive with you real well, and you like metal, then it's just kind of like an extra perk. Like, oh, you've got even more to talk about. But I mean, people in the metal scene all the time, ever since day one. I'm like, this dude's a fucking weirdo and a half. And he likes all kinds of underground music. Doesn't mean I like him. I mean, there's a lot of guys like I would never in a million years invite to my house. That's for goddamn fucking sure. But they like all the goddamn metal you can shake a stick at. So that don't mean shit to me. So Sea Cow, Q for the dog. Speaking of reaping human souls, have you ever seen the legendary series Dead Like Me? Never even heard about it. What about the HBO series from early 2000s, Six Feet Under? The only Six Feet Under I know is the band. Some great shows about death and life. You know, when it comes to shows and movies and shit, whoo-wee, I'm one out of the loop motherfucker. Always have been. So I'll be the first to admit it. There's probably shit that's like, how the fuck hasn't he heard of that? I'll admit, I guarantee there's that shit. So the Predator 666 QC. Leave Garza alone. He's legit awesome. He'll be even awesomer if he gets the dog on the fucking podcast. Again, I'll go on anybody. Any of you guys that run YouTube channels. I'll come on any of your fucking channels. I've offered, guys. I've messaged Joe's Metal Man Cave. So we'll see if he's up for it or not. I asked Melanie. I asked Kaya. I've asked never asked Ken. But hey, Ken, if you want to fucking collab, I'd collab with you. I think an interview with Greg Beal would really be cool. I know Greg Beal does post demos and shit. Because I don't know much about Greg Beal. All I know about Greg Beal is a few stories from Dawn of the Dead, because obviously Greg Beal was the original Nunslaughter singer. But I've never met Greg. He orders from Hells from time to time. He used to order from us quite a bit, like in the very, very early years of Hells. But he'll pop an order in every now and then, now and again. I see his name come through. So yes, I do see your shit come through when it comes through, Greg. And but from what I know, he generally still loves metal. Um, Actually, he knows more underground shit. I'll go. He definitely does. He knows more underground shit than I do. He's more in the loop than I am, staying up to date and buying the demos and stuff. So he'd be able to school me, and I fully admit that. I'll just tell you what it is, like the way it is. Goddamn it. So I'd be interested in like collabing with him for sure. Because yeah, like I said, all I know about him is just was in Nunslaughter, a few of the stories from Don, and then I know that he's loved metal then and still does, and that's a fucking rarity, goddamn it. And I'm not talking about the guy that says, "Yo, I'm 52, well, I still love fucking metal," and he's listening to Judas Priest, Possessed, and shit that he grew up on. No, Greg's like he's literally posting demos and shit from 2022, 2023. I think he posted a Caustic Phlegm demo. This thing, he picks up the demo and posts it on his page. Like he's excited about underground music, not listening to Possessed, Judas Priest, Merciful Fate, Venom. No shit, dude. I mean, that's again, it's coming up to me and saying like, I like pizza. Okay, yeah, who the fuck don't? That's the way I look at it. We say shit like that, so that don't count in my book. Aldo, hey J-dawg, has anyone told you that you have a whole Joe Rogan podcast going? Dude, how you figure? Was that your goal? I tune in every morning to see what's going on and hope to see you interview more people soon. Thanks for the content, brah. It sounds like you're saying that in a positive way. I don't hate Joe Rogan or nothing like that. It's just that I just used him as an example a couple times on my channel because, well, to be honest, because I'm pretty sure he's the biggest podcast person out there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I thought. And if not, he's huge, and I've heard of him. Most of them I never heard of, so I just used him. But I've watched a couple of his episodes. He interviewed Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman. I watched both of those in entirety, and I think like one other off thing, like maybe one of the short clips, maybe with Jordan Peterson or something like a short clip. Not that I'm some big Jordan Peterson guy, but he definitely has some pretty good motivational tips for life tips here and there. I mean, I only listen to a couple things, but and then when he starts talking about nutrition and shit, it's pretty much trash. Um, but yeah, so that's about what I've heard. So no problems with Joe, nothing like that. But fucking, even he's not the biggest metal podcast. He's got to be one of them up there. And so if I'm doing anything that he's doing, it sounds like I'm doing it fucking right. Was that my intention? Fuck no. Like I said, I watched two and a half things by him, two for sure. I don't even know about the half. Um, so yeah, no, that wasn't my intention because I know very little about him. But I don't understand where the references though, because all he does, he sits there and his podcast is pretty much an interview with everybody, and they're like an hour to 2 hours long, right? Again, correct me if I'm wrong. That's the gist I got. I'm not doing that. I'm sitting here in my crappy ass fucking office, a goddamn Zoom microwave behind me, talking to camera. So I'm not doing that at all. But so I'm kind of confused on where the comparison is. But if I'm doing it like he's doing it, and that's the way to do it, then fuck yeah. I guess I'm doing it right. Not that I make any money on this goddamn channel because I don't. Like as you guys know, I don't even monetize the fucking shit anymore because I wasn't getting fucking paid. They keep denying my bank account. They denied my checking account. They denied my savings account. They denied even Lindsay's account. I went to my bank and talked to them. They gave me different routing numbers. Everything. Like I've tried multiple things, multiple times. Talked to other big boy YouTubers and shit like that. They're just fucking the dog, which is no goddamn surprise. So whatever. I didn't mind. I was like, why put these crappy commercials on there if I'm not getting paid for this fucking shit? But still doing it for fucking free for your guys' entertainment, and you don't have to sit through those stupid ass Applebee's commercials. So win-win for you guys. Lose for the dog, but whatever. I'm used to that. Goddamn it. Comments, questions, trends. You know what to do. Put the comments box. Get answers by the morning. Later. Goddamn it.